Hello beautiful souls, and welcome to another episode of 10-Minute Bed Talks. Today I have a really juicy topic to share with you, and that is what is Saturn Return and how to survive it. So let the magic begin. Okay, I'll just set my trusty timer and we will begin. So welcome. If you are watching this video, then it is very likely you are going through your Saturn return, or maybe you've just been through it and you're coming out the other side and you just need to understand what the bananas just happened to you. So I'm really glad that you're joining me here because I feel very passionately about this topic. What topic do I not feel passionately about? Football? I don't know. What is a Saturn return? Well, firstly, Saturn is the planet of lessons. It's about commitment, longevity, fears, challenges. It's a big one. And your Saturn return is essentially when Saturn returns to the exact place it was, give or take, when you were born. So that usually happens every 30 years. So you can roughly expect to have a Saturn return when you turn 30, when you turn 60, when you turn 90, and if you're living beyond 90, why? Why would you want to do that? I don't know. The reason it causes such disruption is it's really there to help you to learn big life lessons. So it's not going to be how to be happy and like how to feel good. It's going to be how to really speak up for yourself, how to express your truth, how to fight for what you believe in, how to become the person you're here to be, how to navigate relationships. So they're going to be big things that are going on for you. We say roughly every 30 years you have a Saturn return. It is usually argued, say, between 27.5 to 31 and, like 55, 56 to 60, 61, give or take a few years. So if you find that you're 28 and you're watching this and you're having a Saturn return, or you're 65 and you're having a Saturn return, that's okay. Yeah, you can actually get Saturn return calculators online where you can roughly calculate when you might be experiencing a Saturn return. So if you're sitting there and you're thinking, how do I know if I'm having a Saturn return? Trust me, you will know. It does not come in all cutesy twinkly winkly fairy. I mean, I realise I'm wearing my flower fairies top and I'm looking like quite very godmothery for you today. However, Saturn is like, I'm here, let's go. What's that? You thought that was great? Let me shake that for you. So you'll probably have heard things like rock bottom and things like that. This is definitely the kind of experience that could create that for you. It doesn't have to, but it could create that for you. So for example, things that could happen in a Saturn return are the breakup of a relationship. Perhaps you get divorced, a huge change of jobs, like completely different career change. You could experience an accident, for example, like a car accident. You could have a health condition. Somebody you love could die. I mean, these are very intense things to go through, and more often than not you might have multiples of them when you're going through a Saturn return. It could also be, for example, moving house or moving to another country. And I know you might be thinking, but moving house is a positive thing, it's fun, it's good. However, in the context of a Saturn return, it might be that you're forced into that position rather than it's something that you are looking for or you want or you're kind of hoping for. It could be that maybe you're made redundant so you can't afford your rental, your mortgage payments anymore, or you're getting divorced and you couldn't afford to have a property on your own, so you've got to move. There are going to be some big hitting things that Saturn's going to bring in for you. The first thing to know is that these things cannot be stopped, they cannot be altered. The only thing you can do is look after yourself and alter how you handle the situation, because it is there as a lesson. So it might be helping you to experience or do things in a different way to how you've done them before. So how do you survive a Saturn return? In my case, barely. But I'm hoping that by watching this, in your case, you might find that it's a little bit better or less emotional or less mentally straining for you. My first tip is self-love and self-care. As you're reaching those ages in your life, working on looking after yourself and loving yourself and being there for yourself, that's going to be really important as a strong foundation to hold you as you go through these big changes or disruptions or lessons, whatever they show up as for you in your life. The other thing that I would really recommend and that you can do for yourself is during the process or even after the process, depending on what feels the most aligned for you, is to go through some counselling or therapy or healing of some sort. And that's because it's very likely that even though it might be a physical thing that you're experiencing, so moving house, there will be an emotional and a mental and maybe even a spiritual or religious element to it. It's really important for you to have that support and that guidance in that time. Have somebody who's there for you, holding that space mentally and emotionally and maybe even physically for you. And I'm not saying that friends or family or loved ones can't do that, but just sometimes it's so healthy to have somebody who you don't know, who's non-judgmental, who's there to support you, who you can quite literally just offload how you're feeling and what's going on to, and they will just take that and move that and release that for you so that you can feel a bit lighter, a bit freer. So I really recommend something like counselling. Perhaps you might find cognitive behavioural therapy helpful. Maybe you might want to go for some Reiki, or maybe you just might want to take up yoga. It could be anything, right? Maybe it's going to church more. I don't know what's going to feel the most aligned for you, but having that support system is really important, because when you're going through something that's so literally like the Tower card in tarot, like it's just total destruction, like wiping the slate clean, starting afresh, having that support is so important. If you've been through that and you've had the counselling and you've had therapy, whatever it may be, then you might also find it helpful to connect to your creative side. I would definitely recommend doing something that's creative. So that could be taking up art, taking up craft, or I don't know, maybe like making your own jewelry, or starting with ceramics and doing pottery. It could be anything, but tuning into that creative side is another way to release those emotions. For some people it might be that you want to take up kickboxing because you just need to release any pent-up frustration, but doing something that is a creative outlet and is also, I guess, a somatic outlet for you is going to be so good, so helpful to just physically move everything out of you, as well as that verbal expression and release, if that makes sense. So I'd recommend self-love, self-care, seeking some therapy and doing something that's creative or physically going to help you. You know, for some people that might look like yoga, Pilates. What's that really extreme exercise that people do? Oh, is it circuit? No, not circuit training. I can't think what it's called. But where you do like crazy hard exercise. I don't know what it's called. And I see people doing it and it's really impressive when they do it. It's gone out of my head what it's called. Anyways, it could be something really physical like that you really feel that you need. But essentially your life is going to look different when you come out the other side. And so having that support network is going to be really important to you. Being able to recognize that things have changed and there may be a period of grief or a period of change of identity. And those are two former 10-minute bed talks that we've had. So you can always check those out if you feel that you need that support to understand that process that you might be going through. But those are some tips that I feel are just the best start I can give you and the best encouragement, and to understand that it's not going to last forever. It is temporary. Even if it is over a course of a few years, it is temporary. And ultimately it is there to help you to have a more aligned and have more integrity and have more connection and wisdom that can support and guide you through the next 30 years of your life. So even though it might feel like all hell has broken loose and the bananas hit the fan, actually this can be a really transformational rebirth for you, and it can really bring you into a deeper, more aligned, joyful space. That's going to take time. As I say, it's not an overnight process, and supporting yourself as much as possible throughout that is really going to help. So where are we up to? Oh, we've got 15 seconds left. How well do we do there? We did really well. So if you have any questions about Saturn Return, by all means pop them in the comments below. If you know someone who's about to go through it or is going through it, please share this video with them. If you have enjoyed this, and if you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe, because I've got loads more interesting and exciting topics to share with you in 10-minute bed talks. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. That's a wrap. Oh, it's stuck on my jumper. I feel like I've got lipstick on my teeth.